While we were away, the shorthanded Clippers succumbed to the Mavericks in a series of coulda, shoulda, woulda. And they would have and coulda and shoulda won in a different dimension, but they did not. So let us discuss the question. What went wrong for the good ship Clip in their postseason matchup with the Mavericks? So I've got Embers, Sci-Fi, and Belly. Now we'll start with this. Everyone's going head over heels excited for Luka and the Mavericks for winning this series, but I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't. It was more about the Clipper incompetence than it was anything that Dallas did. I didn't see anyone reaching for the moon on the Dallas side. But the first thought, number one. The best laid plans of mice and men. The Clippers loaded up with a gaggle of big resume guys. They had a big resume guy here, big resume guy, all-star talent. People look back and say, the Clippers had four Hall of Famers on the team. 4 of them. Because it's Basketball Hall of Fame. Everyone gets in. Even Alf the Alien Opiner is going to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame soon just by living down the street from it. But the Clippers had a roster of big names. And then in key moments in the last couple of games of the playoff series, if you look at the end of it here, you look at it, it's like, well, to quote a baseball player, I don't think it was a specific kind of suck. I thought it was an all-encompassing type of suck. Paul George, by George, if I see one more story, Paul George is going to leave and go to the Sixers, or Paul George is going to go here. Okay, good. I'll drive him to the airport. Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you later. Paul George had an opportunity to prove that his critics were wrong, that he could be the number one on a team that would go on a deep run in the playoffs. Now, he was part of the Final Four Clipper team, but that was a team that he took over after Kawhi had gotten them to the Final Four, and he couldn't get it done after that. But the Clippers knew going in. They were not naive to the fact that they needed some help. So they did go out. They brought in reinforcements. They figured Kawhi Leonard will do what Kawhi Leonard does. He'll not show up to work. He'll go AWOL. And that's exactly what Kawhi Leonard did. He lives up to the back of his basketball card, his Wikipedia page or whatever. And so they went out and they got the reinforcements only to watch the reinforcements poop the bed. James Harden, tentative and sluggish. Russell Westbrook, I guess he didn't have the suntan lotion. He got burned. He got absolutely burned. Burn, baby, burn. The worst ending. Russell Westbrook, if you look at how he ended it for the Clippers, last 5 games, Westbrook shot 19% from the floor. He had 5 points per game and 1.2 assists per game. We are told that is the lowest field goal percentage over a 5-game span in the playoffs in the last 50 years. That's 2.5 generations. You got to go back to see somebody that sucked as much as Russell Westbrook. And what you got here is you've got a bunch of dead embers. And we know that fires cannot be made with dead embers, nor, and this is the more important part, enthusiasm, nor can enthusiasm be stirred by spiritless men. And these guys did not seem too concerned by what was going on. They didn't seem too worried about this while they were drowning. It should be emasculating. You'd think it would be a humiliation situation. You were the better team. You let an inferior Dallas team win. But that was not the body language that I got from the People's team. And Luka and Dallas were plump for the taking. But it was about the Clipper incompetence. Now, page 2 here. So how do the Clippers handle Kawhi Leonard going forward? So they've made their bed of nails here. They're going to have to lay in it. I hope they enjoy it. It's a cautionary tale. They have bet on the wrong horse. And the gate is about to open. You bet on the wrong horse. I don't know if you saw the Kentucky Derby or not. Nice finish there. Dramatic finish at the Kentucky Derby. But Kawhi Leonard is not going to get healthier. I am a distant relative of Nostradamus and friend of Nostradamus. He lives in Seattle. As you age, unless you take a basket full of pharmaceuticals, the good stuff, you don't get better. There's only a certain guy that's getting better with age. I wonder how he's doing that. But Kawhi Leonard is not going to become a healthier Kawhi Leonard as he ages. It is a reminder that when you go back in free agency, it's kind of like sci-fi. All great sci-fi, it has been said, is be careful what you wish for. The Clippers wished for a whale. They wanted to catch a whale. They caught the whale. Everyone wanted Kawhi Leonard. Everyone was begging Kawhi Leonard to come to their team when he was with Toronto. They got him. They got the whale. They caught the whale. They harpooned the whale. And since then, they have had nothing but regrets. Because Kawhi Leonard, his first act as a Clipper, before he had even agreed to the trade, he demanded that the Clippers acquire Paul George. He said, I can't go there alone. I need Paul George. So the Clippers traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a gaggle of picks. Now, I don't give a ant's ass about the draft picks. Who cares about that? But the Gilgeous-Alexander, he was showing signs of being good with the Clippers. And so you watch Paul George wet his diaper with the Clippers and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander blossom into an MVP finalist, while Kawhi Leonard has been malingering the piece of glass that he is. All right, final point. So some unsolicited advice, unsolicited overnight radio advice. Where does Steve Ballmer go from here with the Clippers? Where does Ballmer go from here, the owner? So the Maller think tank has been activated. Here's what you do. Obviously, you roll up your sleeves. You go back to the laboratory. The Clippers are moving into the Taj Mahal of arenas. Everyone's going to get their own urinal. It's that massive an arena. It's going to be amazing. The greatest experience of all time for fans. That's the Clippers arena, the Taj Mahal of basketball. But Steve Ballmer, last I checked, is still the richest owner in American sport, if not globally. And when you're just futzing around because this is a toy, you're not going to rebuild. You're not going to suck out loud for 5 or 6 years. Why would you do that? You're just going to reload. You're going to reload. You're going to get some different ammo, and you're going to reload. Now, my advice, the belly exam. The Clippers right now have too many guys who are fat and happy. They've made their money. They've made their fame. They're already at the top in terms of the fame game and the money game. They're set in their ways. They're not going to go the extra mile for you. I look at Paul George. I see a guy who's more worried about his next podcast. I look at James Harden. People say, well, he wants to win a championship. Forget the bubbly. He wants to go to the champagne room and get a lap dance. And then Kawhi Leonard is more concerned at this point about the temperature in his infrared sauna at Casa San Diego than he is getting his fat ass out in the court. And then you got Russell Westbrook, who I think cares but has fatal flaws in his game. He can't shoot. And his game, much we talk about Dak Prescott and certain people that vanish in postseason games. There's playoff risers and there's playoff fall. Russell Westbrook, I actually think he means well. He just can't. His style of play does not work in the playoffs. Much like in basketball, Dak Prescott. But the Clippers just need to get players that have more fire in their belly, that are ascending and not just treading water. And the people that are looking for the penthouse, they got a lot of guys that are living in the penthouse, but they need that mix of players that are on their way to try to get to that penthouse. That would be my advice. So we'll see what they do. But either way, they'll have better uniforms, better arena. And yeah, listen, they won more games yet again than the Lakers in the playoffs. So another better year for the People's team than the chumps that play on Skid Row in that dump down near Skid Row.